See, is not even 20% when compared to the any developed country. And we don't have actually the discipline in the operators also, but they think why for this 10,000 rupees, why should we work? Or of course the weather conditions are entirely different. See, that is their mentality. But see, now we have to increase the salary structure for training these people. Now the skill development is possible at construction site. That is, I was keep on telling. If you call the trainees, like say NAC here, and this is all theoretical. However, today we have so many engineering colleges, any other thing, any college you take. End of the day, they can't answer even a single question, which is really required for at the site. But it is only a basic knowledge. Wherever it is required, we have to take either engineer or an operator or carpenter, barbender, electrician, plumber, anybody. We have to train them. That is a must today. For that, we need funds. See, government is keep on talking. Skilling, we have to skill the labor. And that is, though we have 130 crore population, the labor is a constraint here for getting the trainees. What is the reason behind it? The government should think over. And we are really struggling to get the trainees because the labor force, simply they are getting a 200 rupees because of these government social welfare schemes. But nobody can question, even opposition leaders, just simply they can question for every small damn thing. But whereas in this particular issue is concerned, nobody has got dare enough to question in the parliament. But see, because we too can't. But they must make in a such a way, this whatever money you are giving, see after getting some skills, why don't you make the payment? Sir, this is what I am, it should go to the Minister of Skill Development. That is why I am telling, we are not able to meet, and even we meet the minister, see, they listen something, they see, when it comes for the implementation, nothing is happening. See, it is really required, whatever money we are spending on the social welfare schemes, just link with the skilling of the people. Then only we can achieve the target. It is not that, see, having so much population, and every country is looking at us for skilled labor. But we are not able to supply the proper skilled labor. So that is very much important. Today, even on job site, this RPL, recognition prior for learning, that is another issue. There is, it is very difficult task for the trainers to identify the existing unskilled labor who are working on the job site. That is a big challenge for us. And for the trainers, just today, the government is giving, say, 35 to 50 rupees per hour. And that is going, and then 10% of that is coming to the trainee. My request for the government, unless you give, see, maybe the training programs are 1 month, 2 months, like that. So during that time, why don't you give some 10,000 rupees? Because he is not interested to lose his job opportunity or see labor work at villages and all. But see, unless you give some incentive, let it be, see, some 10,000 minimum I can say today it should be given for per month. See, once it is given, like a contractor who is already taking them, we are also giving some money. See, that double incentive, unless you give, then we can attract the local labor for getting the training. That is very much important. See, even 1 lakh, see, you can calculate such for 10,000. There are programs 1 month, 2 months, like that. Definitely, you can attract the people for trainees. Today, the biggest challenge is getting the trainees. Even somebody comes and he stays there for about 15 days. Again, he is leaving the job site. And whatever training we are giving to them, it is going waste. We have to have some attraction. Unless this attraction is not there, and you can't achieve the target, it is only just a political game, I can say, as if we are going to skill so many laborers and we are going to spend like this. It is all bogus, I can say. Today, money is not a constraint for India, and as a being a construction company, the government is collecting 1% cess as a labor cess and sitting idle more than 30,000 crores, sir. And let anybody say how much money has been spent for the welfare of the labor or for the training. Nothing. See, that is my request for the government. See, they must spend. Let them spend even 20% of the labor cess. That is more than sufficient, and they can achieve the goal, and we can train the people. We can send our unemployed labor after skilling. We can send it to nearby countries. We can get to the foreign exchange, and we can fulfill our requirement also. And otherwise, what we are getting is not even 10 to 20%. Quality is suffering. And we are not getting the skilled labor. And really, we are suffering with quality. And somehow, when there is a pressure, we are compromising with everything. This is my humble request for the, because you are here, sir, you have to, you are representing the Skill Development Ministry. You please tell to the minister concerned, or he must call. See, if he calls some 30, 40 people and he is listening to everybody, it's not that. He must listen to a proper person, what is actually should be done, and how it should be implemented, and how you can really let him say in Andhra Pradesh, because NAC is there, really it is suffering for the funds. But see, after putting a theoretical training, they must be in a position to send to the sites. There they can get trained, even here 1 month training, there 1 month training. In every vertical, I can say. Then only it is possible. It's not just to see everything. Openly I am telling, it is like a political this thing, but nobody is getting trained, I can say. Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity, but we have to take it, we must attract the people for training. That's it, these things, unless we adopt these things, it is not possible, and we are just like this. And our planning is trillions of dollars for Indian construction. Where are the people? See, it is very much important, sir, skilling. Actually, recently one, of course, there are, ours is the 29th council, and before that, 28 councils were there. And recently, I went for a meeting in one school program, and there they were talking about the skilling of the teachers. And one principal said, it is not skilling of the teacher, it is killing of the teachers.
Yes.
Why? Because they trained the teachers, but they are not getting what they promised. It is the unfortunate thing to say in this forum, but I can say openly, even I can tell in front of the minister. But it is very much important for the nation like us, having so much money collected from the construction industry, not being spent even a single pipe. Is most unfortunate. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sanaiya Saab. You have sensitized, in continuation to Sanaiya Saab's this core-hearted feelings. I am just sharing a small issue. Many of us are the people who are working in the room. I mean to say planners. Few of us are the operators who are ultimately implementing it at the site. Few us like me and my Tavdeji who are intermediary, making the document and sending to the field people to implement it. Small issues, sir, 25 years I had worked in the site. I have seen it. If, sir, a man and woman who are spreading the final bituminous mix and rolling this driver of the roller are simply in their local language are told कि भैया इसको 65 या 80 डिग्री से पहले रोल कर देना. I can say to you this can make the lot of changes. It is a small issue, but our sensitization has gone to the UK and British format. All engineers are wearing the ties and coats, but nobody is sensitive that somebody, a responsible person should be there when such a costly material is being laid down. We are not sensitive, it is a fact. I have seen it myself. I am asking the lowest man, please try to be there at the site so that if they are doing the lunch, let them not to deload it. After lunch, they should deload. So that temperature should go not down. This is a small issue, and this is a catalytic part of the skill development by common sense or by now a methodology, what government is now initiating to improve the system. And I can tell you this makes a lot of change. It makes a lot of change. I have seen in the field, in the theory, in the operative part, everywhere. Thank you, sir. So now I, Shri Bhikshapati ji, so please you share with your experience with us briefly so that nobody should blame me to skip the time and delay their lunch. Please, thank you, sir.
Vishavadi sir, please. Yeah, Vishavadi sir doesn't require the introduction. He's the host. And he's the Engineer-in-Chief, Telangana and DG NAC. That is National Academy of Construction, Hyderabad.
Good afternoon. Sorry to be really bothering you during the lunch time, but the sequence of events have, come like this. Maybe this is an important topic which you would also feel that you have sacrificed lunch for 5 minutes, doesn't matter. So this is about the skill development policy and skill mission for Telangana state. As you are aware, Telangana state is the newest state in the country. And luckily, our government, under the leadership of the Mr. KCR, K. Chandrasekhar Rao, are targeting various sections, various sectoral issues, and gradually trying to come out with wonderful policies. So this way, the planning department of government of Telangana has prepared this policy because I wanted to introduce or sensitize about this policy. Say an academician, Mr. Jayant, told about the policy and all, and industry expert, Mr. Sinaya, told that government need to spend money and government need to train people at the work site so that these programs will go on. So this policy comprehends all these things. It is being developed by the planning department, like I said, Mr. Niranjan Reddy, Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission, Mr. B.P. Acharya, is the Principal Secretary. And here, one of my officer is sitting, is Satyanarayana. He's an Indian Economic Service Officer, but on deputation to Telangana Government Center for Good Governance, who has done real hard work in preparing this, duly consulting a lot of the stakeholders. So I'm proud to be one of the stakeholders when he came to National Academy of Construction. As you're aware, it's a wonderful academy where a lot of skill development is being taken up. Maybe I'll also refer, but I'll just go rush through the slides. The issues hampering growth, I'm not talking about only road sector, this sector, that sector. The issues are, there's a huge young population in the country, in every state. And out of this, only 11% are clear in the graduation level. All of them are below graduation, or 10th, intermediate, 10 or 10 plus 2, or below 10th, 7th, 8th dropouts. And the skill levels of the graduates, whether it is a professional engineering graduate or a pharmacy graduate or a law graduate, their skill levels are really not matching the industry requirements. And there's high school dropout ratio. It's only 60% clear the 10th exam. A lot of them drop at 7th or 8th class. And what to do with them? They're no skill. They don't have any skill. They only want to work. They have the energy. There is a essential requirement for them to work because they have to earn money to buy roti. That is how. But there are no policies. And the unemployment, because government is not pushing a proper policy, there's likelihood of a lot of unemployment, especially under these unskilled people, which will ultimately result in the social unrest. And other side, the industry, Mr. Sinaya was mentioning the 4.2 crores, and also our director from skill development is saying that 4.2 crores of people are required for the construction industry. But they're no skilled. There are no people really wanting to come there. And you see there's only 10% of the skill as against 80, 85, 90 in the developed country. What's happening finally, the quality, the goods we manufacture, or the product we deliver, or the service we deliver is of low quality. And the importance of skill development, again, importance comes from the issues, employability. If you're skilled, you are employed in a better manner. You get more more salary. That helps your family. And also, you have Make in India. Make in India is a slogan. That's possible only with skill development. And Telangana state government is really wonderful policies, like I mentioned yesterday. TS iPass. It's about self-certifying your industrial proposal. You submit a proposal to set up an industry, then you need to certify it and validate. So there is a clear timeline. The government, the Chase group in the CM office said, within 15 days you have to say yes or no. Otherwise, it's deemed to have been approved, and the persons who are responsible for the delay will be penalized. So that is the policy. So all these sort of things that government is really doing wonderful here. The demographic profile, someone was saying that demographic dividend, I think Jayant was mentioning. The demographic dividend comes from the population, right? The working age population in India, in Telangana, is very high. You see, 63% of the state population in the age group of 15 to 59. This is a working age. And 29 or 30% age group of 15 and 29. So this 30% needs to be skilled to make them more productive. Of course, education levels of the people in Telangana between this 15 and 59, the only graduates only 11%, illiterates 34%, and secondary school and below 15%. The skill gap, you have the skilled, semi-skilled, and the minimally skilled. You can see in the minimally skilled where availability is more, but really requirement is not there. What is required is in the semi-skilled. In the semi-skilled category, the industry requires a lot of the people, a lot of youth, a lot of employees, but the skill levels are very low there. Potential sectors for job opportunities, like I said, the state government is now looking at what are the sectors where these youth can be skilled and really provided employment. Of course, the construction industry, the second largest industry of the agriculture, which, is a capacity to 4.2 crores in the next 1 or 5 years or 10 years. There's a maximum. And the second one is tourism, travel, and hospitality. And these are the different sectors which the government is going to give a thrust. Over a period of time, it is assessed that labor demand will decrease in sectors like agriculture. People might come. Even now, we are seeing the youth in villages when we do a lot of skilling of construction industry-related trades. But the people, we are not able to attract people or youth from the rural sector because they want to be employed not in the construction sector where a lot of hard work is required to be done. What they expect is they want to go to a mall, they want to work in a restaurant where they work in a good ambience and so that shift is there in the youth. Youth wants a comfortable jobs, but not a hard-working jobs. But the requirement of manpower is more in the construction industry. This is the policy. Policy statement is a wonderful statement. Ultimately, we want to skill the entire population and various objectives. It's because the time is very limited. I'm just rushing through. The target group of the skill mission are, one is the new entrants into the market, labor market, or the work market, the job market. And the second group is existing workforce, already people who are doing that. See, in the new entrants, there's unemployment is around 7.7 lakhs in Telangana, and this consists of both illiterates, like labor, and also educated, people who have the formal education, graduation or other things, engineering. So we have to target that group. And in the existing workforce, major number of people are employed in unorganized sector like construction industry. And in the formal sector is also, of course, blue-collar migrants of Gulf countries. A lot of people come back from the Gulf to Telangana, and we need to skill them and also employ in proper manner. So for new entrants, like unemployed youth, less educated youth in the rural places, and from the rural people, we want to conduct a short-term courses. Like now, NAC, we are conducting National Academy of Construction 3 months course. It is fully free course for all the youth who are below poverty line. One is, that's a residential course. We provide them accommodation, we provide them food, and we train them in various construction trades, including operating machinery and other things. And the academy also provides them placement facility. So that is how the government proposes to do. Similarly, entrepreneur development. People who are trained as a plumber, people who are trained as an electrician or a driver or an operator can go to a bank, take some loans, and also start his enterprise. That is one aspect. The existing workforce, like the reskilling, the previous panelists have said, skilling, one is recognition of prior